Okay, let people filter in here. All right, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Becca and I'm the marketing manager for Travel Perks. For those of you who are clients of ours, it's great to see you. For those of you who may not be familiar with Travel Perks, I wanted to share just a little bit about us before we get to our main event. Travel Perks is a full service travel agency based in Oregon, but we serve the entire United States. We've been in business for over 2 decades and are the most award winning Dream Vacations franchise. We've built our business on a simple motto that you shouldn't have to sacrifice good service to find great savings. Our team of travel agents help you find your perfect vacation while maximizing your savings and bonuses along the way. We work with all the major vacation suppliers, from contemporary cruise lines to utmost luxury to resorts, tours, custom groups, and custom trips. It's our partnerships with vacation providers that allow us to bring you the best deals, which is how we are able to bring you this program today. Celebrity Cruises is our partner of the month for March, which means we are not only featuring the celebrity experience this month, but we have an exclusive bonus for you if you book a new celebrity cruise through us this month, and that's on top of all other direct offers. More on that later. We expect our conversation here today to last about 30 to 45 minutes, and we will have time for questions at the end. If you have questions, feel free to pop them in the Q&A function or the chat function in this webinar. Either is great. I'll be keeping an eye out in both those locations throughout and at the end of the presentation. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce the fantastic Garrett Landry from Celebrity Cruises. Take it away, Garrett.
Awesome, Becca. Thanks so much. And thanks to the team at Travel Perks for having me. These webinars are always fun, but I would love to see who's here. So virtually, hello. For those who may have joined us in Eugene at the travel celebration of travel back in January, thanks for joining us there. And I know there was a lot of excitement around the event and a lot of excitement overall for travel in general. So let's get underway. As she mentioned, this should be about 30, 45 minutes. I asked for 3 hours, but she's a pro here and kind of kept me in line. So all that said, as Becca mentioned, my name is Garrett Landry. So I'm the field sales manager for Celebrity Cruises, and I absolutely love working with Travel Perks team. They are, and I'm not allowed to have favorites, so they're not officially one of my favorites, but read between the lines. Just such a great partner, and they truly do wake up every day trying to make sure that they deliver amazing vacation experiences for their clients, but also make sure that they're getting the most value for their vacation as well. And that's by working with great partners like myself and other brands. So please make sure you reach out to them for any type of vacation, and even more so your Celebrity Cruises vacation. So really wanted to make sure I started off with the most exciting news that came out here in just the last month. If you didn't hear, we do have teased that we will be joining the rivers in Europe. So Celebrity River Cruises will be debuting in 2027. There's a lot more details to come out, so stay tuned for more. And of course, the team at Travel Perks can keep you updated as well, because we will be opening these ships for booking sometime this summer, which is very exciting. But yet again, not setting sail until 2027. We're going to start in Europe on the major rivers, but we are building our own ships. So we've placed an initial order of 10 ships. So we expect 1 to 2 in that first year, and then more to come after that. But we're very excited. If you have sailed with Celebrity, imagine being on something like the Edge series, but on the rivers. It's going to be amazing. So stay tuned, more to come. If you've not river cruised, will be a great fit for you. If you have, come check us out here in a couple years when we start sailing. So very exciting. But overall, if you're not familiar with us, or if you are, hopefully you understand that we define ourselves, and we really like to make sure that you understand that we want to be an elevated experience for you. So there's a lot of options out there in the cruise world. And what you should really keep in mind when you're thinking of Celebrity Cruises is that we have beautiful ships, excellent award-winning service, amazing entertainment, great activities, and best of all, some fantastic food and drink experiences, whether that be a nice glass of wine, an amazing cocktail, non-alcoholic options, great coffees, to then pair with our handcrafted, handmade food to really make sure that we deliver really a not only a vacation of a lifetime, but a lifetime of vacations. Because we find that once you step on board a celebrity cruise, you'll want to come back because it's absolutely incredible. So fingers crossed here. I do have a quick video and hopefully it does cooperate. We were kind of playing with settings earlier, but let's see if you can check out here. Nothing comes close. So my apologies. It sounds like the video was playing okay, but there might not have been sound. And I'm glad I didn't hear that because I would have sang it for you, but you don't want to hear that. So we will be sure to send a link to follow up on that video. But it's a Ben Rector song, Brand New Day. It's a great song to kind of complement that great um, video, highlighting so many different experiences, so many different activities on board our ships, and just kind of helping to create that excitement and convey what it's like to sail on celebrity cruises. So I'm going to start with our fleet and give you some great tips on our ships as you kind of figure out. Then we'll kind of get into the different accommodation options, and then finally we'll end with some destinations. So our fleet is comprised of 15 ships by the end of this year. We have our latest ship, the Excel, joining us in November. And there's 5 in our Edge series. It's our newest series. Solstice series is 5 ships, 4 ships in the Millennium series, and in the Galapagos, we do have 1 ship that's absolutely incredible. Now, as we do step on board our ships, I'm going to start with our smallest series of ships, and that's our Millennium series. And now these are also our smallest from an occupancy standpoint, but I want you to keep in mind that when it comes to celebrity cruises, when you are on board our ships, we really specialize in a random cruise statistic of guest to space ratio. And what that means for you is you have more space per person on average outside of your stateroom to enjoy than most cruise lines. So what that means for you is that you get to enjoy these different lounges, these different spaces, and there's more of it to enjoy outside of your stateroom. It means more to us to have that than to add more staterooms to our ships. So keep that in mind as we're kind of talking about our different ships. But some of my favorite venues on our Millennium series, of course, we have our solarium, which is across the board on our ships. That's our adults only area. It's an indoor temperature controlled pool. Absolutely amazing. Rendezvous Lounge is one of my favorite places to grab a drink, a cocktail, pre or post dinner, listen to some live music. And then also something to keep in mind is when you're on a celebrity ship, we are actually a smoke-free ship inside. So any inside space on a celebrity cruise will be smoke-free, and that does include our casino. So if you are someone who likes to enjoy spending some time in the casino, that is a place where you can do that without any smoking or vaping taking place. We do have dedicated outdoor smoking areas, but all of the indoor spaces are smoke-free, which I personally really love to highlight that. From a dining standpoint, there's lots of options as well, whether it be complimentary dining, whether it be specialty dining, there are so many different options for you to consider or enjoy. Now, whether you just want to do complimentary dining, you're still going to have an amazing cruise experience. We have lots of different options, rotating menus, outdoor, indoor options, whether it be our main dining room, ocean view cafe. And keep in mind, we're able to and love to accommodate dietary preferences, restrictions. And I've talked to so many guests who may be gluten-free or maybe vegetarian or vegan. And we have so many different options to make sure that that's important to not just say, hey, we got one option for you if you're vegan. We want to make sure we have multiple for you to choose from when you're on board. But from a specialty dining standpoint, we have restaurants that do a la carte pricing or they do more of a fixed menu pricing. But one of my favorites would be what we call Le Petit Chef. And Le Petit Chef is actually this little dining experience where we actually have and have hired animated chefs to make meals for our clients while they're on board. Now, I know the sound's not going to cooperate here, but what you're going to find and see here is this is actually a blank canvas, a blank table with my plate there in front of me. And we actually have projectors in the ceiling projecting down these animations where these little chefs are telling a story and painting the picture of these different dishes, the history of food, whatever it may be, right there in front of you. And our chefs behind the scenes are making the dishes that these little chefs prepare. And so here's an example of how this little chef repurposed all these different ingredients to create this amazing savory tomato art pastry for one of the courses of this amazing dining experience from a visual standpoint, but also incredible tasting as well. And Le Petit Chef is available across our fleet. I just want to highlight it there for you. The suites and staterooms are very beautiful on this series of ships as well, whether it be our standard balcony staterooms or all the way up to our penthouse suite, which is the largest in our this class. And then on our couple of our ships in this series that have been revolutionized, fully updated, I want to share with you, we've debuted a revolutionary concept where there's actually a charging spot next to your bed. Wow. Now, I know I can't see your reactions, but if you've cruised before, that is a revolutionary concept. And so these little things that we do to try to make sure your cruise experience is as smooth as possible on board our ships. From a Solstice series standpoint, we have some great venues on this award-winning class of ships. These 5 ships, all amazing. All of our ships about mid-size in capacity here. Solstice series about 2,800 to 3,000. Millennium series about 2,000 guests. These are all double occupancy. But some of my favorites here on our Solstice series, the Sky Lounge picture in the bottom left, that is a very open space. It's a great activity space, trivia, dancing venue. It's really multi-purpose, but it's one of my favorite places to go. Tuck away, depending on where you may be at in the world, great place to catch a view because it is indoor, but you see there it's floor-to-ceiling windows. And it's just beautiful. My other favorite would be, of course, our lawn club, because we actually offer a half acre of real grass on the very top deck on these ships. And so we have different activities up there, a putting green, croquet, bocce ball. So there's different options where you can actually, step onto real grass while you're in the middle of the ocean, which is pretty cool there. From a dining standpoint, once again, lots of different options. You would be very much and very satisfied through complimentary options, but of course we do have those specialty options as well. Some of my favorites would be Murano, which is really that fine dining French style restaurant we offer, where they do some tableside preparations, which is really quite fun and enjoyable. Sushi on 5, that's a la carte pricing, serving more than just sushi. They have some other great Asian food as well. And then Tuscan Grill, really a fan favorite on our fleet, where you see these, you kind of walk into it's like you're walking into a wine barrel, because that's our Italian steakhouse. And then the beautiful main dining room, and that is really centered in the focal point in that space is the wine tower. In the wine tower, there's over 2,000 bottles of wine there in that wine tower, where you'll actually see sommeliers go and retrieve these different bottles for clients or guests, as I should say, going to enjoy there in our main dining room on our Solstice series. Just give you a quick look at the suites and staterooms in this class of ships as well. Just give you that idea, the aesthetic, the space. But as I shared before, outside of your stateroom, that's where you're really going to want to enjoy all the different places and spaces on board our ships. Moving over to our Edge series, and this, as I said earlier, this is our newest series of ships. was actually the first ships to be designed completely in 3D. So we really want to maximize every square inch as we were designing these ships. And it is full of amazing experiences, whether that be the great entertainment that we offer in the theater with these just massive screens that are incorporated, some different audio and visual elements that we sneak into different shows. We always are rotating our shows during your sailing, so you make sure to catch it one night because we won't do it again. And we just offer really amazing kind of Broadway style shows in that space. And then we offer a little bit more intimate performances by a whole separate cast in both the club and Eden to really just give you more options to enjoy different experiences on board. Beautiful resort deck, the magic carpet, of course, which can be used either as a dining venue, could be used as just an extra bar space, or of course, we actually use our magic carpet as a tendering platform as well, where in those different ports of call, you may need to take a smaller boat off of our ship to get into the port. There's no pier, there's no dock. And so we actually use that magic carpet as a way to help you get from the ship onto the magic carpet and then right onto the tender boat. Very smooth, very streamlined process we are able to utilize that for tendering. Magic carpet aside, there's so many other great venues, including the Grand Plaza, which is this beautiful space, really the focal point and the heartbeat of the ship across these different Edge, Apex, Beyond, and Ascent. And that's where our world famous martini bar lives on these ships, where our bartenders are having a really fun time making really fun drinks for our guests. But keep in mind, even if you don't want to get a beverage, head over to the martini bar and just watch the show because it's really fun as well. Eden, as I alluded to earlier, a great spot to go catch some entertainment, but we also have a bar space, a specialty restaurant, a complimentary cafe slash bistro. So there's lots to enjoy in this space, and it's about 7,000 square feet. So it's in the very back of the ship where you can just take in the views of the different destinations that you are on. As I mentioned earlier, and I forgot to put these slides in here, so the Magic Carpet, as I was sharing, is a multi-purpose venue, can be on 4 different levels at any given point. It is not moving that frequently, and there's no one on there, so there's no one joyriding this like an elevator, so don't worry there. But it is such a smooth process for tendering, as I alluded to. So from a visual standpoint, I just want to share what it looks like when we do those tenders. So as you can see here, we pull those tender boats right up against the magic carpet to make for a very nice experience, very easy experience for you as a traveler. Dining. Now these ships have numerous options for you to consider, including the specialty dining options, whether it be raw on 5, which is almost identical to sushi on 5, but just added a few more menu items. We have some great indoor and outdoor, including rooftop garden grill. Le Voyage, which is our global culinary ambassador for Celebrity Cruises. His name is Daniel Balud, and he's actually a Michelin star chef and has helped us curate menu items in different restaurants on our ships, but he actually partnered with us to bring a restaurant called Le Voyage onto both the Beyond and Ascent. So he has his first restaurants at sea by a Michelin star chef delivering some incredible experiences for our guests. And then from a complimentary and included dining standpoint, we have lots of options once again, whether it be Eden Cafe, Ocean View Cafe with all these different stations catering towards all dietary preferences and restrictions, as I said. But here on this series of ships, we actually have 4 main dining restaurants. So what this allows you to be able to enjoy is these are like specialty dining restaurants where they're smaller, they're more intimate, that look and feel. And these menus are going to rotate daily across these 4 restaurants, but 20% is going to be unique to what that restaurant's themed. So you can have a more unique experience should you choose, or you can just stick in the same main dining restaurant if you'd like to have that same server experience. But if you'd like to, you can have these different experiences to these different themed restaurants, complimentary as part of your cruise experience. And it really delivers in these 4 restaurants. One of the other very unique elements of our Edge series is our infinite veranda. Now visualize this with me. When you may have been on a cruise before, if you're new to cruising, there's the option to book a balcony stateroom where you typically have that exterior balcony space to enjoy. Well, what we decided is on this series of ships, we took that exterior space and then brought that into the interior of the stateroom. So right away, the stateroom is larger by design. but at a touch of a button, that top piece of glass actually can come down and transform essentially your entire stateroom into a balcony. It is wonderful. You still get great sweeping panoramic views. I love this concept. And even better yet, imagine this in a destination like Alaska. And the Edge, the original ship of the series, is sailing in Alaska in the summers. So, as you may know, weather does not always cooperate in the destination of Alaska. And so you may not have access and be able to utilize your balcony space in certain ships. That does not become the case here because if the weather is inclement, that window stays up and you're still able to enjoy the views from your balcony without losing that space. So want to share that. Absolutely love these balconies, staterooms in the Infinite Veranda. And also, just on the right side is a picture of one of the bathrooms. They're very spacious, and as you'll see, not a shower curtain to be seen. I alluded to this earlier. The Excel will be debuting for our fleet in November of this year. We're bringing all of our favorites from that we've learned so far and actually splashing some new elements on this ship come November. And we actually have a program called the Dream Makers that I would encourage you to sign up for if you've not already. We can actually help us figure out some of the finishing touches to the ship. And one of that is these 7 new experiences that we're debuting. And we've shared the first of the 7, and that is one of my very exciting places that I'm looking forward to seeing. It's called the Bazaar. And so the Bazaar is actually going to be in the space that Eden used to occupy. And what we're going to do is transform this where it is going to be a kind of blur the lines more so between ship and shore. So in the Caribbean and Europe, where the ship's going to be sailing here in the next couple of years, we are going to incorporate more elements from those destinations into this space, cuisine, shopping, entertainment, and you'll be able to find that in the Bazaar, which we're really, really excited for. If you're interested in setting sail on this ship, as I mentioned, it's going to have its main voyage in November, and then it's going to be rotating between the Eastern and Western Caribbean from there. And then next spring, this time next year, it will head over to Europe to then start its first season in the Mediterranean. We've already gotten so many great reviews and feedback, and the ship's not even sailing yet, that we have made the decision, and this was not a part of the original plan, but we will have actually a 6th Edge series ship. The working name is Excel 2. We're going to come up with something a little bit better than that. But that is going to actually debut for our fleet in 2028. So we still have a few years, but just know that we do have another one coming, which we're very, very excited for. So from an accommodation standpoint, now that we know our fleet, let me share with you some different options for booking. And I do like to start at the top, and that is our retreat program. And the retreats program is our suites. And so if you book a suite, you are part of the retreat. And if you're someone who's looking for those finer touches, that even more elevated experience, and you also kind of like that smaller ship feel, this program helps to create a ship within a ship. And we do that through places like the Retreat Lounge. It's an exclusive lounge, indoor area, serves some small bites, beverages. We have our concierges available, an indoor space for you to enjoy. We also have the Retreat Sun Deck, which is an outdoor space forward on the ship, typically there on the top deck. Some water element included, either a pool or a whirlpool. And this is a dedicated space where there's bar service, or newer ships have more of a restaurant style service there for you on the Retreat Sun Deck. And then, of course, Lumine, which is a dedicated restaurant for our retreat guests. And this is where the influence of Daniel Boulud comes in more so, with some really global culinary inspired options for you to enjoy in this beautiful space just for our retreat guests. Open every day for breakfast and dinner, and then sea days for lunch. So if you're not one for a suite, which is okay, but I will tell you, once you do experience the retreat, it's hard to go back. We do also offer really a fan favorite, and that would be Aqua Class. And having sailed in Aqua Class myself with my wife, which was a dangerous precedent to set, to be honest. She won't sail anything else now. But Aqua Class offers, and that's just kind of like our wellness, our spa category. And with this comes a dedicated restaurant in its own right in blue, which is an incredible, really delicious dining option. There's lots of different menu items, but there's also an element called clean cuisine, where it does have a little bit more of that healthier option, more plant-based options. You don't have to choose that, but it does offer that. Some unique wine options, really beautiful space, complimentary. You also get upgraded amenities in your stateroom, um, and complimentary fitness classes, a yoga mat to use on board. The one we had sat in our closet the whole time, but we did look at it one time, so I think that counts. And then we also, of course, have access to our spa areas. So specifically here on the Edge series, that would be access to the different thermal suites, which have different themes, different aesthetics, different sensory experiences. And across our other ships, there's access to the Persian Gardens. So it's a really, really great option for someone who's looking for more of that wellness when you think about cruising. Now, if you can't decide, I do have a solution for you. You can actually book what we call Aqua Sky Suites, where you get the best of both amenities. So you get access to the retreat amenities and you get access to the spa aqua amenities as well. So if that is of interest to you, make sure to let the team at Travel Perks know. So now that we know the ships and the categories, let's talk about where we want to go. And believe it or not, there is still time to book for 2025. Now, those options are fleeting a bit, but we have some incredible things for you to think about and consider when it comes to cruising this year on Celebrity. And I am going to start a little bit closer to home for me and possibly for you as well. And I did want to make sure you're aware of our Great Alaska program for 2025, which will be the same for 26, but like I said, there are some options for 2025. Now, with this, there are 3 ships that go to Alaska for us. The Edge, which is round trip out of Seattle. It set sails on Friday, which I really like that schedule because you can go on a 7-night cruise, arrive here in Seattle on Friday or Thursday night, depending on how far you're coming. Set sail on Friday, you get back the following Friday, and you still have your full weekend to either enjoy more of the city, make your travels home, get home, and still have time to unpack and get ready for that next work week if you're not retired. Solstice, round trip out of Vancouver, great experience as well on this, as I said, on the Solstice. And then we also offer the Summit on our one-way itineraries, which is Seward to Vancouver or Vancouver to Seward. And that actually allows you as a traveler to then do what we call the cruise tour program. The cruise tour program is 2 to 6 nights after or before the cruise, where we have a dedicated tour guide, deluxe motor coach, glass dome rail cars. We've partnered with the best available lodges locally, so local partnership lodges. Really, really amazing experience for you when you choose to do the cruise tour program. Now, once again, I know audio is not playing, unfortunately, but keep in mind that it is really an untamed wilderness, just breathtaking landscapes when it comes to Alaska. If you've not sailed or even been to Alaska and it's something you've been waiting to do, I highly encourage you to do it sooner than later. The environment, the glaciers are ever changing. Do not wait on this destination because we offer some really award-winning experiences, whether it be the round trip experience or the cruise tour option. Shifting over to the Caribbean, this is another nice closer destination. And what you need to do here is get yourself to one of the 4 major Florida cruise ports. We have the options for you out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, and Port Canaveral. So depending on where you'd like to fly in and out of in Florida, we have cruises that can complement that for you. Anywhere from short itineraries, 3 or 4 night, all the way up to our longer itineraries at 10 and 11 nights throughout the Caribbean, Eastern, Western, Southern, you name it, we typically do offer it. And so keep in mind, we have some really amazing immersive Caribbean itineraries for you to enjoy on up to 9 ships throughout the year. We do have 2 ships that are year round in the Caribbean, should that be of interest to you as well. Europe, on the other hand, is really kind of our bread and butter. We've won for 13, 14 years now, best premium cruise line in Europe. And it's because we deliver some incredible experiences on our different ships. And what you'll see here in this video is just a little taste of some of the places and the spaces we visit in Europe this summer. We have over 40 different overnights for you to enjoy, like places like Florence or Lisbon, trying to connect you both day and night with the different destinations. And we actually, our cruise line, before we were Celebrity Cruises, originated in Greece. And so we have some incredible options in Greece. Like I mentioned, overnights, great ways to immerse yourself in these different cultures. And really, when you think about cruising, think of it as really a sampler platter or like a charcuterie board of experiences, because it gives you the option to unpack once, get a taste for all these different cities, these different towns that you're visiting, so you know what you might like and what you might return to in the future. Let us do all the logistics and enjoy either one of our 4 ships in the Mediterranean or our 2 ships in Northern Europe. So different back-to-back options, of course, are encouraged. Talk to the team at Travel Perks. Do not miss sailing in Europe. It's my favorite destination to cruise in. Highlighting some of our secondary options, but still amazing, just not as popular, not as many ships in these different destinations. We do offer some great sailings in the Northeast. We do some Canada to England sailings in and around the fall foliage. We offer that Iceland itineraries where the ship's actually going to sail from the Northeast over to Iceland with stops in Greenland, some new round trips out of Reykjavik and Iceland on the beautiful Celebrity Silhouette. When the Edge is not here in Seattle doing Alaska, we also do offer some great experiences in Australia and New Zealand with longer itineraries down there typically, but we set sail out of Sydney or Auckland in New Zealand, and it includes some amazing ports of call, some amazing experiences in the land down under. South America, on the other hand, great options as well. This is where we're doing some Patagonia, some Antarctic itineraries. Now, we don't have any landings in Antarctica, so if that's something you're looking for, there's some great options, even amongst our own family at Silver Sea to consider. But this is a great way to get down to a destination like Antarctica on a larger ship. That's going to be a little bit smoother, ideally, as you pass through some of the most treacherous waters in the Drake Passage. As we rotate and shift our ships seasonally, we do have some brief stops in Hawaii, spring and fall, as the ships migrate from either North America down to Australia, New Zealand, or Asia, or vice versa. So if you are looking to enjoy more days at sea and not a transatlantic, we do have some great trans-Pacific options that include Hawaii. And I would be remiss not to mention a destination like Asia, because this is incredibly hot right now, specifically Japan. So much so that we made the decision to keep a ship year-round in Asia. And so you can go and experience destinations like Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, and of course, Japan. And we have some best of Japan itineraries where you cover all the major places you want to see. Once again, getting a taste for what you might want to return back to. And so the Millennium is there year round, and then the Solstice is there seasonally, and that does those 12-night Thailand and Vietnam itineraries with an overnight in Bangkok in Thailand and an overnight in Hanoi, which is that gateway to Halong Bay, the UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is absolutely incredible. The last destination I did want to spend just a minute here talking about would be the Galapagos Islands. Now, we are so lucky to have the one ship, the Celebrity Flora, down there, and it is a 100-person all-suite ship, so just 50 staterooms, 80 crew member for our 100 guests, just really a one-to-one, and it delivers really a destination of a lifetime. We're getting rid of that whole bucket list concept. It's a living list now, and do not wait to go see a destination like the Galapagos, where you get to know the locals, who are just so fun, so engaging, interactive, but they have that no natural fear of humans because they are protected on this really isolated area in the Galapagos. And it is really, really, truly stunning. And we deliver really the best experience out there on the Celebrity Flora with the first ship purposely built for this destination, outward facing. We even designed our own yacht tenders, as you see pictured there, for a nice smooth on and off process, and then offer unique experiences like Galapagos glamping. Now, Becca knows this, and if you've not seen the other part of our promotion that we're offering for just our team at Travel Perks, is if any of you are interested in booking the Galapagos this month, I'm going to cover the cost of the Galapagos glamping for you. Now, keep in mind, there's really no other costs that you can incur on our ship because we're all inclusive with your drinks, Wi-Fi, shore excursions, all that's built in. But since this is a limited experience, it is something that we do charge for. But it's an opportunity to sleep underneath the stars in this area, and you get to do stargazing with our naturalist team, wake up the next morning with breakfast in bed. It's really, really top notch. But I am happy to cover the cost for you for that really amazing experience. Some other features of this ship outside of the glamping, we have an eco-friendly lab where you can learn about the impacts in the environment and our interactions with it. The Discovery Lounge where you do the naturalist talks each and every evening. Just a really life-changing trip in the Galapagos. Now, if you already have your dance card full for this year, we do offer sailings all the way. We're open for sale all the way through April of 2027. And so with that, we have great options in all the different destinations I mentioned earlier, adding more and unique options. Some of the new highlights would be South Korea for some of our Asia sailings. The Excel, it'll be coming back to Miami, more overnights, more Iceland, just really exciting stuff. And of course, if you happen to have a free 110 nights in 2026 into 2027, I do have what we are so excited to say is our first ever grand voyage of over 100 nights. Now, keep in mind, this is not a world cruise where you have to book it all at once. You can actually book this by segment. So you're able to book as many of these legs as you'd like, but there's 9 different itineraries, 55 unique ports, 65 port days, and covering 15 different countries across those 9 itineraries, starting in Vancouver, ending in Singapore. Very, very exciting stuff. So as I kind of wind down and get to some of the additional details here, keep in mind, and the team at Travel Perks, once again, great resources here to make sure that you also book the appropriate amenities for your cruise. Now, we do offer the cruise-only rate, which is going to be your lowest price. It's typically the price you're going to see advertised, and that gets you on the ships to enjoy all these different experiences, but it does not come with the amenities, like the all-included program, which includes our classic drink package and our classic Wi-Fi package, which is really the number 1 and 2 things that most of you are looking for when you're on board a cruise ship. It is the most value rich for you to book that ahead of time with the team at Travel Perks. And best of all, since Becca mentioned they're part of the Dream Vacations family, they have access to some really amazing group rates that are priced very well, locked in pricing from 12 to 18 months in advance, but they come with that all-included program as a default. So it's great pricing and all included as a default, as I mentioned. And then if you do book one of our suites within the retreat, you get the premium drink package and the premium Wi-Fi standard. Last thing before I move into the promotions is I did want to share, while Celebrity Cruises is not really known as a family brand, I do want to make sure you're aware that we are open to cruisers of all ages. But when you're thinking about traveling with your kids or your grandkids, when you choose to sail with Celebrity, you're sailing with your family, not for your family. Someone sailing for their family, they're typically choosing to go on a ship that has bells and whistles. We don't have those bells and whistles of those stimulating activities. What we have is this immersive camp and sea program where little cruisers are actually getting an opportunity to learn, be immersed in this program, do robot building, do airplane design. It's really fun. And so when my son gets, he's 14 months now, but as he gets older, I'm excited to sail on Celebrity because this is more that vibe that I anticipate that he's going to kind of be looking for. So as I mentioned, we do have some great offers in place right now. So if you're interested in booking Celebrity, right now our sale is you buy one, get the second guest up to either 50% off or 75% off, depending on the type of deposit, plus either additional savings based off the date of your booking creation or extra onboard credit. And the team of Travel Perks can help you navigate that. But as Becca alluded to, and as I've also alluded to, we want to make sure that you are getting the most bang for your buck. And so this month we are, as the partner of the month for Travel Perks, are doing an additional, on top of what I just shared, we're doing the specialty dining credit for you while you're on board. So you can go to Le Petit Chef, you can go to Tuscan Grill, you can go to Fine Cut, so many different options, and I'm picking up your check. And so it's good for 7 nights or longer cruising, balcony or above, if you book this year, and that's good for any sailings through April of 2027. So I think we've had a couple questions come in. I'm gonna get a sip of water and happy to take those questions from any of you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Garrett. That's fantastic. And I know I am personally ready to book my next celebrity cruise. So don't know where yet, but definitely feeling it after that presentation. So
Awesome.
thank you again. Yeah, we do have a question here. And just a reminder, if you do have questions, feel free to drop them in the Q&A widget or directly in the chat, and we can get those answered for you now. We do have a question about back-to-back cruises here. Mark is asking, do we need to do online check-in for both cruises or just the first one?
Yeah. So definitely want to do the check-in for the first one. But there are elements for that second cruise. We still want to make sure we collect that information. When you're on board, they will help make sure that's a nice, smooth transition, whether you're staying in the same stateroom or if you happen to have to move. But certain ports of call do require our back-to-back guests to get off and then get back on. Some can remain on board. It depends on the port a bit. So I would encourage you to still go through the process of the secondary check-in, because we still per cruise want to make sure that we have your passport information right and your biometric data and all that. The arrival time's not going to be necessary for you on that second cruise, but as I mentioned, certain ports do require you to get on or off, or sometimes you can stay on board. So I would encourage you to, yes, plan for that, but the team on board can really and will help you very much so on that back-to-back experience. Good question, Mark.
Great. Great. I'm not seeing anything else coming through. I'll give it just a second. I do have a question for you,
Yeah,
Garrett. I'm
yeah.
wondering, so if somebody's completely new to celebrity, haven't sailed with you guys before, do you have any recommendations for either a first time itinerary, first time ship,
Yeah.
anything like that?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's like ask me to choose my favorite child, which thankfully I only have one, so that is easy. But first of all, would love to welcome you on board. Just be prepared. When someone sails on Celebrity, they usually get hooked. But we are part of the Royal Caribbean group, so if you may have sailed with Royal Caribbean or even Silver Sea, we do have a status match program. So if you happen to have loyalty with either one of those brands, that does translate over to our Captain's Club program, which you should sign up for, because that is our loyalty program, and you earn points just like an airline, and that gets you status and different perks and amenities. So definitely check that out. For a first cruise with us, and it just depends on what you may be open to as far as the amount of travel. So I do lean on our big three, which would be Alaska, Europe, or Caribbean. If travel time and budget were no hindrance, I would say Europe. And I just absolutely love flying to Europe, getting on one of our ships, seeing, you can see multiple countries in a single voyage. It is really an incredible way to see so much of the different cultures, the different experiences, like I mentioned before, without fully committing to 1 week in Italy. It's a way to just really have so many different experiences over there. So Europe would be my go-to, but if you don't want to go as far and you may have not cruised at all, or you want to try us for the first time, Alaska would be just the easiest. And it's such an amazing cruise destination because physically it is impossible to get between all the different places, Ketchikan, Juneau, Skagway, see a glacier, all in the span of 1 week. You can't do it. And so cruising makes for that to be possible. But then it's also so nice to have those creature comforts. So many different amazing experiences, both on ship and on shore in a destination like that. And if you live locally here in the greater Seattle area or in the greater Northwest, it is so easy to get to either Seattle or Vancouver to then set sail from. So those would be my first two. And of course, this time of year, I'm in desperate need of vitamin D. And so if someone offered me to go to the Caribbean, for one, I need to find childcare and make sure my wife's off from work, but I would go next week if I could, just because I could use some sunshine right now.
I definitely feel that, and I am guilty of getting hooked on celebrity as well. So I feel that.
Appreciate that though.
Yeah.
It's a great question, and I know, and I don't believe any other questions have come in, but I know there's so many different options out there. The team, I cannot reiterate this enough. The team at Travel Perks are incredible. They're here to help you. Becca is just on the surface of the amazing work they do behind the scenes with this great agency, and they will help you curate really those amazing vacations, ideally with celebrity cruises, but many other destinations and cruise lines throughout. So I really appreciate everyone's time today with this virtual presentation.
Excellent. Thank you so much again, Garrett. We really appreciate your time as well, and I'm sure everybody here appreciates hearing about celebrity and the experience and all of that. So yeah, we really appreciate it. For those of you who joined us, thank you as well. If you are interested, we have a great team of travel agents, as Garrett mentioned. You can reach out to us. You can find more about us at travelperks.com and get started that way as well. So
And take advantage of that offer. March
yes.
is that bonus month, and it's really a great offer to have that specialty dining or that Galapagos glamping. So
Yes.
please, please, please take advantage of that. And that is combinable with everything else we have going on. So jump on that because that ends at the end of the month.
Yes. Excellent. Alrighty. Well, with that, looks like no other questions came in. So yeah, I think we'll call it there. And thank you all for joining us again. And Garrett, thank you as well.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.